Hi, here is Liplandi. The short footage you have just watched is part of an experiment we have been conducting to test the indestructible molecular bonded shell of the Knight Industries 2000. In a few minutes we will show you the end result of such experiment. This is the Knight 2000 voice car made by Kenner in 1983. This was the ultimate toy based upon the Knight Rider TV show. Michael Long was a police agent who got nearly killed on duty when the Knight's Foundation for Law and Government took his body. They gave him a new identity, Michael Knight, and a new face, the one of David Hasselhoff. Michael Knight became the new Knight's Foundation Special Agent, driver and best friend to the Knight Industries 2000 k.i.t.t, the most technologically advanced artificial intelligence mounted on a custom black shiny Pontiac Firebird Trans Am from 1982. Michael Knight was the Knight Rider. The car was beautiful. David Hasselhoff is David Hasselhoff, and the music theme to the TV show, composed by Stu Phillips and Glenn Larson and inspired by the classic music March et Cortège de Baku by Leo Delibes, was cool and catchy. In the 80s you just couldn't get cooler than this. Several toy companies had the rights to produce toys based upon the TV show, but this was the only vehicle with a fitting action figure truly inspired by Knight Rider. The figure was sold in a box with the car, but you could also find the standalone action figure sold on a blister card, and both the box and the blister card were red. I just don't get why. Michael Knight stands 5.5 inches tall, so he is pretty big. He's got the standard 5 points of articulation. We can rotate his head from side to side, the arms can be moved forwards and backwards, as well as the legs can be moved forwards and backwards. It's not much, but it's all we need. He will sit perfectly inside the car. The face looks like David Hasselhoff, and overall the sculpt is really nice. I believe I can see the hands of the same guy who sculpted some of the real Ghostbusters from Kenner. Michael Knight is wearing the most classic Michael Knight suit with a black leather jacket, a red shirt and blue jeans, and of course we can still see his radio wristwatch. The car is a nice representation of the real one, slightly stylized in the proportions but still a faithful replica. It's 15 inches long, all made in a very shiny black plastic. We have a couple of obvious Knight 2000 logos on the doors because they had to make sure that parents knew that this was a licensed product, but they don't bother me too much. And even the hubcaps look exactly like the real ones. They look great. Here on the front we have a reflective sticker to represent the famous scanner on the k.i.t.t from bumper. And it works fine. Of course, this is not a real working scanner, but electronics were not so cheap back in 1983. And here on the back we have another sticker to represent the famous California Knight license plate. This is also the button that will trigger the main gimmick in this vehicle. Both the doors will open to reveal a nicely detailed interior with the famous custom steering wheel and dashboard, and some stickers to represent all these controls for Michael Knight. Even the seats are made in the right khaki color. In the car we've got plenty of room for 2 figures, but only one was made in the whole toy line. By the way, Michael Knight fits perfectly inside. Even though we all know that k.i.t.t doesn't need a driver, he can drive around by himself. Place one C battery inside this compartment underneath the car and pull down the rear license plate, and you will hear the voice of k.i.t.'s artificial intelligence. 6 different phrases from the TV show from the uncredited voice of William Daniels.
Scanner indicates danger ahead. Call me k.i.t.t for short. I shall activate the turbo boost. What is our next mission? Your reflexes are slow. Engaging the infrared tracking scope.
Since these toys didn't have microchips back in 1983, this car talks with a spinning motor running a record, just like all the talking dolls. To be honest, the talking mechanisms inside these cars were made for talking dolls. They are made in a flesh-colored plastic. We've got a dial down here to adjust the speed of the speech when the battery starts running out. k.i.t.'s body is covered in a molecular bonded shell that makes him almost indestructible. We decided to put this shell to the test, throwing against k.i.t.t a speeding taxicab equipped with crash test dummies. So let's see how it performed. Molecular bonded shell test number 1. Come on k.i.t.t, get ready. I am always ready, Michael. Crash test dummies, prepare for countdown. Well, this is a very well made toy. The overall sculpting style, construction and materials used in this car remind me a lot of the old Ecto 1, also from Kenner. Given that Knight Rider was one of the most iconic and popular TV shows from the 80s, I would say that this toy is an underrated masterpiece. If you're buying it loose, remember that this glossy surface gets lots of scratches, and also it's quite easy to find it with a non-working motor, but this kind of talking motor can be easily fixed. We had to open up and fix this one ourselves. Again, if you liked this video, please share it, subscribe, hit the like button and let us know what you think in the comments below. Did you remember Knight Rider? As always, you can follow us also on Facebook and Instagram. Ciao!